Yeah, before that, I got a big game atmosphere in Schembeckler Hall, a ton of enthusiasm and excitement, and my energy level was already sky high, but then got a visit from the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, very close friend, and that just brought the enthusiasm to a new level.
Over here on the right, Connor.
Was Rick's visit planned? Did he just show up out of the blue?
He let me know that he was coming in this weekend, and stop by. Could he stop by? Of course. There's a few people I would rather see or be around than my good friend.
Jim, you have a big milestone birthday coming up next month. How much have you thought about how long you want to coach for? Is there any specific accomplishments or achievements you would like to accomplish before it's all said and done?
Really, the only way I've really thought about that is might have been 5 or 6 years ago. We were at my brother John's place down in Bald Head Island, and we were sitting there talking to each other. We're talking about how long do you coach? What do you want? What do you accomplish? The same questions you're asking. And, we're talking to each other about it. We couldn't come up with anything definitive. So we asked the same question to our dad. Dad, how long do you coach? When do you know to stop coaching? And he said, I'll tell you boys, here's what you do. You coach as long as you possibly can. You coach until you get to the point where you don't feel like you can coach another day. You can't make another script. You can't go out to the practice field. And that's when when you get to that point, coach for 2 more years. So that's the advice I heed.
Does that seem like good advice?
Yeah, it seems like great advice. And I've shared that advice. I don't keep that to myself. It's just different coaches that that retire, or I always tell them congratulations, and then just gotta get you this perspective from Jack Harbaugh.
How would you describe your passion for coaching now to maybe 5 years ago?
It's always been high. I love the competition, and or at least I thought it was high. I can tell you this. I mean, just these players, how they've been raised, their families. There's definitely there's a boost, an invigoration just being around these guys.
Earlier this year, when you guys were struggling to run in some games, you said it was one guy here, one guy there. One time it was 4 or 5. What did you see on Saturday night, and what can you do to fix it at this point in the year?
What are you talking about? Fix what?
And the run game, and maybe get less plays that don't work, 3 yards or less.
Yeah. There's been these conversations, and there's football conversations about this all the time. You recall last year there's a real emphasis on could we throw the ball? Could we throw the ball downfield? And there's weekly that we address that in the press conference here. And then it got to the point where even last year where teams were saying we're going to stop the run and we're going to make J.J. McCarthy beat us. And we've seen how that has worked out. So there's an ability to you could drop 8 or 9 and have a really good chance of shutting down or eliminating a passing game. You could put 8, 9 in the box and have a really good chance. Safety's playing at linebacker depth, and you have a pretty good chance of shutting down the running game. But you can do both, and you can do both effectively. That's where you want to be as an offense, and then it's the old sports adage. Also one of my dad's favorites, and my favorite. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. So that's what I would say to that.